Thank you for calling Welcome Home Member Services. Please select one of the following options. For Welcome Home Member Services, press 1. For Welcome Home Waitlist, press 2. Please wait while your call is transferred to the waitlist.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Waitlist, that in-between podcast when you just don't have enough welcome home in your life. So we will be doing something ride-related again. Wow, that's a tough one to say, but ride-related again this week. It is. So this time, what we're going to do is we are going to talk about rides that we would love to see in the park that Tom wanted to change just a little bit. I think it's just because he didn't have any ideas, but
that's not true.
Based on a license or IP that doesn't currently exist in the park. I actually have notes for this one. I was so into this.
Wow.
So I think we're going to also put Ziggy on the spot. So we're going to let him go last because we didn't really give him a lot of time, and I have notes. So I mean, gosh,
thank you.
So we're going to just talk about those rides that we would love to see. I limited my ride to things that can happen, currently, not to say that I didn't go out there and try to make up some technology of, like hovercrafts and land speeders that doesn't currently exist. So I kept mine pretty realistic, I thought. But I am going to do DuckTales, and actually we're gonna let Ziggy wait unless he has an idea. But let's just say what we're going to do before we start talking about. I planned on doing something DuckTales. A DuckTales ride is needed.
And I picked Gravity Falls.
Which would have been my second.
Yeah,
choice,
and it's just a good show, and it needs it.
Yes. I am going with Up.
Okay.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, does it have to be a made up one or one that can actually? I mean, something that is actually possible.
No. I kept mine to something that's actually possible.
I mean, I think this guy's. So are you thinking like a Marvel type thing?
Yeah, I mean, I love Marvel, so I would definitely have some kind of a Marvel experience if there wasn't any.
And that's fine. I think because, I mean, at the end of the day, Disney can buy out that contract. That is a possibility, right? Like, it's not like it's forbidden.
Sure someday they will. I mean, they're going to have to someday.
Okay. All right. I need to get started because I am just super excited about this. So
do it.
As you guys know, I am a huge cartoon fan. I have watched the original DuckTales so often that I could probably give you a list of all the episodes, and I've watched the new one multiple times as well. So I feel like a DuckTales ride with, the fact that they brought it back would be key. So my ride is, I want to talk about the queue first, right? Because I think the queue in general is something that, we don't, there's a lot of work I think goes into the queue as well for most Disney rides. I think that that's one thing that Disney has over a lot of the other parks is the fact that their queues are really well done. I mean, Universal's Harry Potter queues are nice as well. But all that being said, so what I'm thinking is that the queue is really a tunnel to under the money bin. I think that when you talk about a DuckTales ride, you kind of have to deal with the money bin as the general spot of where you're going. So I kind of feel a little Gringotts Bank here too, right? A little stealing of Universal, but that's okay. So I think that what you have in the queue is that you're walking underground into the money bin. What you're going to actually do, it's going to be kind of a cart ride, and you're going to get on the cart and you'll be in the money bin. And what I kind of picture is as you're kind of going through the money bin, it's kind of fun in the beginning, right? So the money bin is going to be something where obviously it's a rather large money bin in general. But what I'd love to see is like, as you're, in this cart going through the ride, what happens on the sides of you are actually coins kind of get like spit up in the air, kind of like you're swimming in the money bin, which of course we know is what they like to do. So I'm trying to simulate that experience with these like coins that actually get shot up on the sides of you as you're going through this dark ride. So what I think that has to happen is that you're going to try and stop Magica De Spell from stealing the number one dime. But what happens is that Magica is going to actually turn you into a crow, kind of like her brother Poe, right? So what happens is then the ride kind of turns itself into a little bit of a darker Peter Panish sort of thing where you're still in this cart, but it feels like you're kind of flying as the crow. And, she's kind of turned into this crow. And the only way to get turned back is to actually steal the dime back from her. So I think that you're kind of going to go through a little bit of a chase as this crow. And what happens as you get towards the end is you're going to actually find the diamond. And what I'm kind of picturing is like kind of these experience within the experience where the dime's kind of hidden. Not that you can actually physically touch it, but kind of on a screen where the dime's hidden and you almost have to try and find it. You know, the ride will obviously let you find it each time, but that dime could move to different spots, I kind of feel like. So it's not the same sort of screen in front of you. You find the dime, you get turned back, you know, into humans. You come down from that high cart ride. And as the end, of the ride, you're back at McDuck Manor. That's how I see it.
That sounds pretty cool.
That's my ride. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
But so you're thinking then the ride would have like kind of an element like Toy Story Midway Mania or something, where like there's something in the cart that you're able to interact with? Or
no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going that route. All I was kind to do is say, like, you know, the dime itself in this big money bin kind of changes locations as you're looking for it at the end, and it will be pointed out to you, kind of like the spy is pointed out to you in the Star Wars ride. So it's just going to change, just so it's a little different each time in that regard. But that's kind of how I see it. I think that, you know, the experience is based around the money bin per se, but I think having Magica, you know, the Beagle Boys seem a little tame and it changes the ride a little bit. I like this turning into a crow to give you the ability to get this cart up in the air somewhat, which I think is interesting.
I've never gotten picked as the Rebel Spy. I've been really disappointed about that. Sorry. That's an aside. That's an aside.
But yeah, no, I do. So I can actually visualize that. I think that's a really cool idea.
It is very cool.
Yeah.
So like I said, I thought about this one for a while because I do love that IP.
Notes.
I mean, I do love DuckTales.
Yeah, I totally appreciate that with you, man.
But I was equally as excited because once Trevor said Gravity Falls, I started to have my own thoughts in my head too. So now I'm very curious to what Trevor's going to go with.
Okay, so yes, Gravity Falls as a ride. So first of all, so talking about, you know, positioning and all that, to me, so first of all, I think the ride for Gravity Falls should actually be the Mystery Shack. So the outside of the ride should be the Mystery Shack. And I know that some people may not like me saying this, but if you were going to do that, the only place I could imagine you actually having it is in Frontierland. Like, that's the only place that really fits the aesthetic of...
It would. I would agree. Yeah, that's right. I didn't even know where mine would go. See, I didn't even think about it like that. I didn't care.
Where would yours go?
Oh, sorry.
Not to go off yours, Trevor.
Yeah. Oh, no,
sorry.
No,
we missed the key part of this.
I think it would have to go in Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
I'm in Magic Kingdom. Sorry.
Where in Magic Kingdom would you put it?
Put it over by the tent. Over by the Barnstormer in that area.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Fantasyland? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I imagine that, you know, the Mystery Shack being, you know, kind of in the back of Frontierland, you know, being from the show is, the Mystery Shack actually functions as the queue for the ride. So, you know, you're walking into it and, you know, it looks like the Museum of Oddities and all that. And then the ride itself would be, I really want it to be a trackless ride. And the reason for that is that the way I see the ride playing out is that you go in and you actually end up kind of playing through that scene where Bill Cipher goes into Grunkle Stan's mind in the mindscape. So you're still inside of the Mystery Shack, but everything gets, you know, it's like that dreamscape weird kind of thing. And
kind of like the Huffalumps.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, it's all, you know, the different scenes from the Mystery Shack. But then the cool thing is that kind of allows it that you can go through different doors. And because it's a trackless ride, you would actually see different scenes. So it actually end up being more of like a Star Wars ride where every time you would go through it, you would get a different selection of scenes. And they would all culminate in the end being, you know, you stop Bill Cipher from stealing the bank safe code, but how you get there changes every time. And then, that was kind of my thought on it. And then,
no unicorn hair though, huh?
Well, maybe. I mean,
that could possibly be the best episode ever of Gravity Falls.
The unicorn hair is fun, but I just felt like in terms of like I guess I was thinking more from the technical side of, you know, how would you move through the story. That mindscape scene to me seems like the most
I think that would be great.
Yeah, it had the most interesting things, and it didn't have to necessarily pertain to, just Grunkle Stan and his memories. It could be, different parts of the series, and so like as you're going through the different rooms, it's just like different parts from the series, and then the end is, you stop Bill Cipher at the end of the ride.
I think that the problem with both of our rides are, though, is that there would be, it would kind of be like, has everyone seen Gravity Falls? The greatest cartoon of all time, mind you, but has everyone seen it? Just like DuckTales. Oh, Gravity Falls is the greatest cartoon of all time. I don't even think there's a question about that. But
I still have not seen it.
Is it? Yeah, is it bad that I
haven't seen it either?
I can tell you this, that I actually watched 4 episodes today, just because, and it had nothing to do with the fact that we were talking about it today. It's just that good.
It is. We have it on in our house constantly.
Whenever it's on.
Yeah.
I would say that if I was to say that The Wire could be the best television show I've ever seen, Gravity Falls is the best cartoon I've ever seen. And I grew up in the 80s, and it's still the best cartoon I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah. And to be fair, I haven't seen every single Disney movie either, and somebody's going to get mad at me for this. I guess to segue into this, Tom, I haven't seen Up. So
oh man. Oh, that's like one of my favorites.
I know, but
actually, Trevor, I only saw it recently. Like I saw it this year only because like I was catching crap that I hadn't seen it before. I will watch this then. Yeah, everyone just shut up and I'm going to watch it.
And that's kind of where I'm at with it, is that I'm really trying and get caught up on some of these movies, but it's just finding the time for it. But to say that though, I don't feel that, to experience these rides, I don't think you necessarily need to have seen the movie, because my son...
Well, it's like Pandora.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, my son didn't see Avatar before he went to Pandora, and he loved it. But then he watched the movie, and then he really wants to go back and see it again. So, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, if the environment is immersive enough and tells the story itself, then you don't need to already have a backstory on...
See, and I started just thinking about, man, could you imagine the sort of stuff you could sell at the end of a DuckTales and Gravity Falls ride?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I already have the hat from Gravity Falls. I mean, yeah, they...
Well, you like we did Gravity Falls on the cruise, the Halloween cruise. We actually all dressed up from Gravity Falls. My son is Dipper. It was great. I mean, my daughter was Mabel. I was Grunkle Stan. My wife was supposed to do Wendy, but she actually bailed. But anyway, that all being said, the boys did it, and it came out great.
Do they sell any DuckTales / Gravity Falls merch in the parks, or is it just completely, there's nothing from those?
They must. They must.
I haven't seen it, but strangely so, I found Dipper's hat that I actually... my son wore it last year to the Halloween party, but then I actually just used it as my regular hat after that because it fit. I actually found mine at Hot Topic of all places. So,
wow, that's kind of random.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so let me do mine here. So I thought a lot about this. Okay. And, we were joking before that I changed the rules, which I didn't. It's only because I was thinking, so for example, Monsters Inc., right? Monsters Inc. has a ride at Disneyland and a couple of the other Disney parks, and they have the show at Disney World, but I don't know, the show's great and all, but I want to ride, right? Like I love the rumor out there that, that they're going to change Rock and Roller Coaster to like a door coaster someday. Like, so was my thinking of that, because there's some different rides that don't exist at Disney World, which is my main focus most of the time, that I would like to be there. But I chose Up because there is no Up ride. And if you haven't seen Up, it is a soul-crushing, very sad movie. But really,
okay.
It is. It really is.
Bring the tissues.
Yeah,
bring the
exactly.
tissues.
Bring the tissues. But it's great. It's a great movie. It's funny and it's, heartfelt and everything. But when I was thinking about a ride, right, there's certain things that you have to have in a movie for a ride that like associate. Like, so I had a couple of different ideas here, but I'm going to go with Up. But I'll really quickly tell you my other one, which is a Moana boat ride. You could totally do a Moana boat ride where she's going through the ocean and, you're hitting different things.
You have to save that for part 2.
Okay, well, that's part 2. But that's, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm thinking. Like, there has to be a thing that they do in the movie that could translate into a ride. That's kind of what I was thinking of, right? So when I think Up, and those of you that haven't seen Up, basically, it's a sweet love story. A man and woman.
You can't ruin it for Trevor, though. That's
I don't want to. I'm not going to ruin it for you.
Okay.
It's okay.
But a man and woman, they fall in love. They show their whole like story throughout their lives, and eventually, they've got this old house, and eventually, the sprawl of the city starts to come to where this house is, and they're trying to kick this old man out of the house because they want to build a skyscraper there, and he doesn't want to leave the house. So his profession is he sells balloons at the zoo, right? So he takes millions of balloons and rigs them up to his house and makes the house basically float away to was it Paradise? It's Paradise Falls, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so that's the whole thing, is the house picks up, floats away, and on this trek to Paradise Falls. And so my thought for a ride is, I don't know if you guys remember this, but we talked, I don't know, a couple, maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago, there was a patent that was out there, and that we're thinking, okay, they're going to use this for like a Spider-Man ride. And basically what it was, it's a track, an above head track with like a pendulum on the bottom where it can freely move back and forth while also moving forward. So my thought for this ride is, first of all, you go through the queue. Maybe the queue is inside their house, or maybe it's some different scenes from the movie before you get to their house. And then when you finally get to the ride vehicle, it is, the house from the movie. And it's that same technology that I'm talking about with the pendulum and the track, right? And the ride is, you get on this thing and it takes you, the house starts, going up in the air, and you're going through the city. So now you're dodging dodging skyscrapers with this house, right? So it's weaving in and out of skyscrapers, and then you're going higher and higher. And then, eventually, maybe maybe you dodge a plane at some point. And then eventually, as you go through all these different things, you get to the falls, and you're dodging some of the rocks till you finally land, and you're there at Paradise Falls. So there's a whole, thing that you could happen through this ride, but that's kind of what the basic idea of it is for me. I think it would be a lot of fun.
So Tom makes a ride he can't actually ride.
I would go on it. It sounds awesome, right?
Or you could also add at the end, like, I forget the bad guy from Up, but he has his own ship or whatever. Like you could have him coming after you, and like, you're trying to dodge him, escape from him too. You can work that in there at the end.
Absolutely.
Wait,
Yeah, totally.
Trevor, have you ever watched Meet the Robinsons?
Actually, yeah, just recently.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that, actually.
A very underrated movie, by the way, but that's all. I was just curious.
Yeah. So questions about this idea? Thoughts?
No.
Yeah.
I think it sounds awesome.
Honestly,
go
ahead, Z.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it sounds really cool. I'm not sure that I don't prefer the Spider-Man version to use this type of ride system too, because to me it would maybe be like more action packed, and you're swinging faster.
That's what I was
stuff,
thinking. Like, I don't think Tom could even ride what he's saying.
I'm thinking of a slightly souped up version of Peter Pan, but with the vehicles being able to move back and forth.
That's funny, because as you were describing all this to me, I was actually picturing using the Soarin' ride system.
That if the Soarin' ride system could move forward, then yes. I want this to be like in 3-dimensional space,
Okay, fair. But Soarin' does feel you're flying, right? It's that same kind of feeling of,
But that's just a movie at the end of the day, I think, is what he's saying. He wants.
I want.
Well, you know what you could do then? You could steal the ride system from Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey.
What is that ride system? Is that the one that the crane arms?
Yeah, you could do something like that in front of screens.
You could. I mean, I don't know. I think you could tame the little Spider-Man system that we were talking about and make it so it's not like a super thrill ride. Make it more gentle and kind of like nice,
Like a very slow moving giant.
Yeah, exactly.
I would just like to go on record as Tom said tame and Spider-Man in the same sentence.
A tamer version of what the Spider-Man one might be that we were talking about. Not the Spider-Man, not to be confused with the Spider-Man ride that's at Universal. I'm talking about the patent we saw that looks like...
Tom, have you been to Universal?
When I was very young, like when Jaws was still there, yes. It's been a very long time since I've been there. But yes.
So I was. Have you heard the latest on that Spider-Man one? Because I was just I just heard that it is in development, like it's going into that area in A Bug's Land where they just recently blocked off over there in DCA, and apparently like that it's going to be so cool because you're going to be flying through the city and actually underneath you, because it's going to be full of screens basically, and even on the bottom it's going to look like you're 30 or 40 stories up, like going through the city, like through all this traffic and stuff as you're swinging through. That's what you were talking about.
So they are using that patent for that, right? Because we were just assuming based on that, like, and we assumed that they were going to put it in that Marvel land that they're building in Disneyland. But you have more information on that.
Yeah, I don't have an inside source on it, but it comes from somebody else who does, and they said that they talked to the Imagineer who's heading up the project. So it seems pretty legit. So basically, you're going to be following, like, it's going to be a big warehouse type looking building, because if you look at the patent, there's like a map that goes like in a little bit windy, but it looks like it goes going through a maze. And so that track above your head has the arm hanging down, and so as the track is going forward and you're moving through the space, there's screens all around you, which and the swinging motion simulates you like as Spider-Man or following Spider-Man as he's flying through the city chasing like the Green Goblin or something like that. But apparently like I said, the technology is so cool that it's gonna really look like when you look down, you're gonna feel like you're flying above the city.
Look at Ziggy bringing us news in the wait list. First time ever. Gotta love it.
I love it. Well, when we saw that patent, like, we were laughing because they were like, it could be used for a Spider-Man or a Tarzan ride. It's like, no one's making a Tarzan ride. Stop with that. You're just trying to
That would be
distract
awesome,
her.
though.
Yeah.
You're talking about rides. Wow,
Yeah.
a Tarzan ride would be awesome.
But we all knew that was going to be a Spider-Man
treehouse,
ride.
Jungle Hunt style.
But we knew that was going to be Spider-Man. I feel like they were just using that to throw us off the scent, like we were just going to fall for, maybe they're going to make a Tarzan ride. It's like, they're not going to make a Tarzan ride. Come on. So,
all right, Ziggy, did we give you enough time?
Yeah, Ziggy, you kind of got the feel for what we're doing here now, and you can...
definitely. Yeah. So I've really been putting a lot of thought into this, guys. Like, it's been like literally minutes that I've been thinking about this. And
did you take notes too?
No, I didn't take notes. No, but as you guys were describing yours, it gave me some good ideas, right? So, like, my dream scenario would definitely be that the Marvel rides are able to come to Walt Disney World. So it's not a problem in Disneyland. So if I have to go there to go on this type of a ride, that's fine with me too. But I don't know. I was thinking, like, I had a couple different ideas, but I was thinking of that it could start maybe like you're at Stark Industries, so Tony Stark's headquarters, and it could start like maybe the queue is you're going through the building and you're taking a look at all the new technology that Tony Stark has been developing, and he gives you a tour of the facilities. And then maybe something goes wrong. It comes under attack by one of the Marvel villains or whatever,
Loki or something.
And somebody like that breaks in there and starts causing sorts of chaos. And at that point, I don't know. Like, I don't know how exactly in the story how it would work, but you could get into like I'm thinking like a trackless vehicle, like the Ratatouille one or something, and where you're going from like room to room throughout this facility as it's under attack, and have it be interactive on the lines of what the new Star Wars, the Battle Escape attraction is supposed to be like in Galaxy's Edge. So something interactive where, like, I don't know, you're shooting at them and defending the base against these attackers or something. I don't know how it would fit into the story. Like, maybe maybe you could be a SHIELD agent or something like that. Or if there is some way where you could be a super, I don't know how you could work it in where you're a superhero where you get powers and stuff. But I don't know. I'm thinking like that type of I love the interactive attractions. So anything where I'm able to take part into it, I think would be really cool.
I agree with the interactive part. I like any time that there's any sort of interaction. Like one of my favorite rides at Disney is Toy Story, Midway Mania, because I just love the interaction, the competition aspect of it. So yeah, I think interaction's great.
Yeah, or you can have like, so if you didn't want to have a trackless vehicle, then I'm fine with like a mine car coaster type vehicle where the same thing though. Like it has to be. I feel like on the lines of the Guardians of the Galaxy attraction that's coming to Epcot, right? Like a lot of screens and special effects going on. You could be in that one. You could probably be a superhero, like flying through the scenes and stuff. I don't know. Or if actually, see, you guys didn't give me enough time to really think about it, so now I'm coming up with all these ideas.
No, that's okay. This is what the waitlist is for. It's for free thought.
Yeah. Or like an attraction like Flight of Passage, but you're a superhero, and they would have to come up with a different ride vehicle. Like I'm thinking something like Iron Man, where you could maybe you're in a standing position. It's maybe I don't know, something that simulates flight, where you can fly around as Iron Man, going through the battle or whatever is going on, either a battle with the other Avengers around you or your own solo thing, but something where it simulates flight like that, I think would be amazing too. The ride vehicle would be difficult.
Well, so maybe like a flying coaster type of situation, but maybe not the coaster part, just like a simulator where you're kind of laying down and flying type of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Amateur engineers here. Throwing this.
It's all good.
Yeah, everything's easy. You can just figure everything out easily, right?
Yeah.
I like it. I think Marvel stuff is always going to be good to do, right? I mean,
oh, for sure.
There's so many Marvel things they could do.
Exactly. There's so many different properties and things they can tap into. I mean, they can make, if they wanted to, they can make a whole park on Marvel stuff.
Well,
really.
That's going to be a future waitlist episode, The Fifth Gate. So we'll save that talk for then.
Yeah. Real quick, I also thought, another IP that none of us talked about, but would be really good is Big Hero 6.
I was thinking that too.
That's got a ton of potential as well.
Yeah, that's coming to Tokyo Disneyland. I think so.
Yeah.
I gotta go out there and check that out.
Yeah.
I think next year, maybe 2020 or something.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah, no, Big Hero 6 is a great one. Because I love that. I really love that movie. That's one that every time it's on Disney Channel, I just pop it on and watch.
Well, there's a series now, right?
There is?
There is.
Wow.
You should watch it.
It's like Tom. It's like Tom is like so compartmentalized in his Disneyness.
It's.
But that all being said, we said we would hold this to a half an hour.
You know what? We did say that.
Brutally close.
And we are really trying hard to do that. So I don't know. Do you want to wrap it up, David? Do you want me to wrap it up?
I will wrap it up again.
Right,
so
cool.
Everyone, thank you for listening. Like I said, this hopefully will tide you over as we go through, that off week. But please let us know if you like the show, especially on Facebook. Let us know if you have any ideas for the show, because as you well know, our time is still precious, especially Tom with the little kid and us still with families, the rest of us. So, we only want to continue to do this if you enjoy it. So please let us know what you think. I mean, I have about 30 ideas already in the hopper, so I don't think we'll run out of ideas if you guys continue to want to listen to us. So that all being said, you can still send us over messages to whatever that email address is again. What was that? Welcome Home Podcast
at gmail.com.
Yep. I was teasing. But yes, you can send us messages about this episode to that same email address as well if you have any questions or concerns, or if you just want to be on it. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we put Ziggy on the spot. He did a great job. But we can always let you know beforehand. So if anyone has an interest in coming on one of the waitlist shows, just let us know.
Yeah, we like having people on.
We do.
Well, great. Thanks for joining the waitlist, guys.
Thank you for joining Welcome Home Waitlist. Have a magical day.